Prana is primordial energy, according to Vedic teachings. It's the fundamental, impersonal, intelligent life force that pervades and animates the entire universe. It's the vital life force in all beings, and it's the essence of life itself. It's not just air or breath, but it is the subtlest principle that makes us alive. And our body is the tangible presence of this prana. The universe is the tangible presence of this prana. So when we talk about prana there and doing breath work, there are really two things that are involved. The first is number one. Hold on one second. Sorry. Yeah, the first is number one. We want to learn through breathing practice and breathing techniques. We want to learn, as we've been doing, to become a deep breather, become a diaphragmatic breather. So even when you're at rest, when you're driving or watching TV or even lying down to bed, that you've got your diaphragm going. You just all of us grew up and went into adulthood with dysfunctional breathing patterns. So what we want to do is get rid of that and start to put functional breathing patterns, which is more deeper, concentrated, diaphragmatic breathing. Now, of course, in the beginning, that requires we have to remind ourselves to do that. It's not easy at first. We find ourselves through the day, oh my gosh, why aren't I? It's okay. It's a journey. It's a process over a long period of time. You're transforming yourself into a more efficient breathing machine. You're transforming yourself over a long period of time where you don't have to think about it. You're just deeper, you're just breathing more deeply, you're more in control of the breath in your body, and that translates, we're going to specifically translate that into energy. So the first part of pranayama or breath work, the first thing we're going to talk about, I want you to imagine just yourself like a paper bag, expanding freely, easily, no obstructions, and making that, connecting if you can with the diaphragm over time, right? It gets better, you get better and better at it. So if you kind of have this picture like you're just a paper bag, expanding and contracting on the inhale, contracting on the exhale, expanding on the inhale. Because the goal, as we explore higher dimensional teachings, which we explore on Tuesday nights, as we explore these higher dimensional teachings, what will happen, certainly I can tell you what's happening to me, what happens is what's happening down there, it just matters less. And the work that we're doing here with the books and the parents workshop and the meditation and the collective, at least for me and my level of involvement, I'm beginning to anchor more in the higher levels. And this stuff down here means less and less to me. Or I'm bringing more of this consciousness to that work. And so what it requires, because this does keep me busy. It keeps me thinking, keeps me occupied. My mind is going a million miles an hour. I'm not meditating all day. I'm working on higher dimensional projects or higher dimensional concepts or higher dimensional meditation. And what I have to do in order to be able to do that, I have to put that guy down there on autopilot. And autopilot means that body is always breathing deeply. Deep breathing, like we're talking about, or even just regular diaphragmatic breathing, converting to this deeper diaphragmatic breath as your default breath, as we talk about in deep breathing, it's very important because there are two things that happen when you become a deeper breather. When you breathe shallow, and this is what everyone else does, and this is what I did for 50 years and what you guys have done for decades, when you breathe like this, there are two things that are in the air outside that we need, that our body needs. The first one is the oxygen. Every cell, in order to do its job, needs fuel, needs the oxygen. And the other thing that's in the air is the prana, or the chi, or the life force, whatever you want to call it. That's also in the air, and that's how we take it in. So when we breathe, we're not just breathing, we're pulling in the fuel, we're pulling in oxygen and chi, or prana, into our body where it belongs. It's great that it's out there. That's fantastic. But we really want it to be in here. So when you begin to breathe more deeply, what happens is you've been breathing like this your whole life. And so now you breathe like this. And your body is like, well, this is great. The cells are saying, thank you. That's fantastic. All that extra fuel, but I don't believe it. You've been breathing like this for 50 years, and now all of a sudden like this? I don't believe it. So because you've been breathing like this for decades, your cells have kind of become used to it, and your cells are operating at the lowest vibratory level, the least amount of fuel you could possibly give them. And they're learning to operate in that lowest level. When you give them more fuel, the cells appreciate it. Thank you so much, but I don't believe it. When you do this over a period of a few days and a few weeks and a few months, and you just kind of elevate your average breath from here to here. And then at night, you take these big breaths. And in the morning, you take big breaths. And throughout the day, you take big breaths. But if you elevate your average breath, so you're actually pulling in more fuel, what happens is your cells say, oh, I guess she's serious. Okay. So your cells begin to start to operate more efficiently. And the entire vibratory rate of your entire body begins to rise and rise. And as over time, this is pranayama, this is what this energy work is about. Over time, you're literally hyperoxygenating your body. You're creating a new version of yourself that operates at a much higher level of efficiency, a much higher vibratory rate. I've experienced this. I can tell you there are thousands of people on the internet who do deep breathing. That's exactly what they're feeling like. Whoa, the whole thing feels better. Not only are you operating at a higher rate of cellular efficiency, but your immune system is getting stronger. So your everything in your body, the systems are operating more efficiently. The cells, the red blood cells now carry a fat dose of oxygen and prana instead of a little depleted dose. And the more you continue to breathe over weeks, months, years, if you're working at higher dimensional levels, that guy down there, yeah, he's taking care of himself. He's deep breathing deeply, he's eating healthier, he's exercising every day. That's what we're doing. We're training ourselves, our three-dimensional bodies, and we're training ourselves with new habits and routines, deep breathing being one of the more important ones. We're training ourselves with new habits and routines so we don't have to think about it. The body's just taking care of itself. The body is on a healthy track. Every time that body goes to the refrigerator, there's healthy food at the top, healthy choice in the middle, healthy choice in the bottom. Sometimes he opens the refrigerator and says, you know what? I don't even need any food. Let me just take a few deep breaths. This is what happens in my own mind. I don't even need food tonight. I'm not hungry. Let me just take a few deep breaths. So you're instilling these habits in yourself on purpose so that when you leave and you start working in things that are more important to you, higher leverage things, working at a deeper level, the body is taking care of itself. The relationships are taking care of themselves. Everything's taking care of itself. Your habits begin to take care of itself. So you are programming yourself to be healthier, but by the same token, you're doing that so you can elevate, and now you're on autopilot down here on a good autopilot, as opposed to trying to get up here and being on a bad autopilot, being out of balance, unhealthy. That then you can't really anchor yourself. You can't really rise. You can't really stay there because you're out of balance. So you can experience it, you can understand it, but you can't anchor it. So the goal is to anchor this higher wisdom, to anchor this higher energy. The goal is to make yourself healthier, but breathing is important. When you do exercise, that's good. But when you breathe, it's literally impacting every cell in your body, your skin cells, your eyeball cells, your liver cells, your brain cells. Every part of your body starts to operate with more and more fuel. So even just taking it from the minimum just to this would be great. But over time, you'll be a more diaphragmatic breather. Again, you'll be watching TV and you'll feel yourself all of a sudden. That's how I want to breathe. Yes, and you want to do that without thinking. So that's the most important part of pranayama or breath work or energy work. The most important part is to build healthy habits into your body and to hyper fuel yourself so that you start to elevate your vibration, elevate your cellular efficiency rate, elevate your health. And of course, the way health works, when you do one healthy thing, it typically it spreads out into other healthy things that you do. So for example, if you start to become more healthy and more intentional about your food, that usually translates out into many other parts of your life. So this pranayama meditation that we're going to do is very helpful. So that's the first part of this breath work. I'll just use the word pranayama, but that's an ancient word. The first part of breath work that we're concerned with is to make our cells more efficient, just breathe at a more efficient level. The second part of pranayama, again, a very ancient practice, is to learn how to move this energy, move the prana around, up and down the central channel, out into space, like understand how to not just have the prana, but how to be the prana, how to like experience it flowing in a more freely way. And that's the meditation we're going to do today. That's the meditation, the central channel meditation, which we'll do today. But there are also, I'll show you just some other very simple pranayama techniques, they're really the same thing. It's just central channel breathing. That's the essence of what I've been able to understand about pranayama. The essence is this central channel breath and learning the energy is not the breath, but it's very much connected to the breath. It's aligned with the breath. It's not the breath, it's different, but it's very much moved by the breath, moved by using your inner sight, reversing your awareness, considering this stuff inside your body. You can expand the prana to our shoulders and our around the energy field around us. It's all prana. We are prana and we can learn to control this. So those are the two main elements and the two main important goals that you have in doing breath work. So number one is to elevate your cellular function, your cellular efficiency rate, raise your vibration, right? Essentially raise your vibratory health. That's number one. And number two is then learn how to control this and make this a daily meditation so that you are always moving the energy, the light within your body. Some people, sometimes I like to picture this light going up like a tube, like maybe the width of I don't know, like a bowling ball, like a big wide tube where the light is just flowing through me. Sometimes I make it smaller, like the size of a tennis ball. In pranayama, in ancient texts, and in Tibetan Buddhism, which uses this exact same technique, they say like the width of a straw. You can also do it like a string, like the width of a string. So you can play around with that. You can play around with moving the om to each chakra. Om, 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 vibrate your heart chakra. The point is the more attention you give to this beautiful energy system that you have, the more it wakes up over time. It's like going to the gym. If you do it once, good for you, but that's not going to make you healthy. You got to keep going back over and over and over a period of weeks and months. This is what we're looking for. We're looking to recondition our physical body, our energetic system. And the more you do this, the more you realize there really is an energetic system. And here's another point. You, I, all of us are connected to this energetic grid of the earth, which is connected to the energetic grid of the universe. You're a part of that energetic grid. You can't get out of it. As long as you're in this body, you're part of that energetic grid. So your job is to wake up the energy flow, activate the light, draw more light into your being and make yourself a more highly vibratory, healthy part of this energetic grid. We're also part of a light grid. We're also part of a magnetic grid. But for the purposes here, we're part of an energy grid of the earth.